Hello guys, this is Mr. Merlos greeting you all. Today I want to make this video so you can have a better idea of how you're going to organize your outlining and what is the correct format for making your research essay. You know that this week you have to make an essay about tigers and global warming. I'm gonna make this example by using the topic pollution. The topic is always a phrase, so we don't have to make a sentence with it. But in the case of the other elements that we include in the outlining, all of them have to be a sentence. So it means that they have to include a subject and a verb. The topic or thesis sentence is a sentence that we use to introduce the topic. So it means that it's a sentence that serves as a presentation for the topic. Look at this example. Pollution can be defined as the waste produced by careless human activity that threatens the environment. So here I'm presenting the topic of pollution to my reader. And I do it by expressing the definition of pollution. In the case of the main ideas, you have to be very careful. All have to be sentences, not phrases. And the problem that I have seen mostly is that sometimes you make those main ideas too specific. Look at this. If you make your main ideas too specific, the problem is that later you won't have extra information to add about them. And you will struggle in finding something to say, and you will end up being redundant or being incoherent. So the best thing is trying to choose an idea that is general, and the specific ideas, you use them as supporting details. Look at this example. People throw garbage on the street. This is too specific. But if you say, there are negative effects of pollution in the cities. So, people throw garbage on the street is one of those negative effects. So you can mention that as a supporting detail for this main idea. So this is a main idea. This is a supporting detail. Look, rivers are getting dirty. That sounds good as a main idea, but it's too specific. So instead of saying this, you can say, the countryside suffers damage in different ways. One of those ways is that rivers are getting dirty. So this is a supporting detail for this. So you see how this is more general than this. Or if you say, greed is a cause of pollution. So we say pollution doesn't have a specific source. So one of the sources is greed. So this is specific and this is general. If you say separate garbage depending on its type, this has relation to the topic but it's too specific. If you say there are various forms to fight back pollution, so in this way, you are saying a general idea, and separate garbage depending on its type is one of those various forms to fight back pollution. So you see, main ideas have to be sentences, but also they don't have to be too specific, because if they are too specific, you don't have supporting details to add later. They have to be general, so in that way you can mention extra information about each of them. And that extra information are going to be your supporting details. Then the last thing is the closing sentence. The closing sentence have to be of two styles. It can be a conclusion for your topic or a summary for your topic. In this case, I have made one that is a conclusion, because it mentions something that has to do with the effects, right? The effects of pollution. So responding quickly to the effects of pollution can make the difference when trying to change the Earth's fate. So this is what I conclude about all what I mentioned in the essay. And later I finish it up with the supporting details. So these are the elements that you have to include in the outlining. I'm going to show you the example that we worked on class. It was this one, do you remember? The topic that I made this example about was light. And as you see, I defined a thesis sentence. In this case, I made 5 main ideas, but for your work, you're going to use only 4, right? 4 main ideas, no 5. So this week, you only write your essay with 4 main ideas. Then I have my closing sentence for the conclusion. And look at how I formed the paragraph in the research essay. So I had to have an introductory paragraph where I include the thesis sentence. It can be at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of the paragraph. It doesn't matter. Normally, we can have it at the beginning. That's the most common position. Then we have the body, where I include all of the main ideas. And look at how I make the sequence of the main ideas. I use the main ideas by introducing them with connectors, right? I use the connector to introduce the first main idea, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So for all of them, right, I can use other connectors, right, to talk about examples, to talk about results, contrasts, reasons, time, right? So all of that information that we include, right, to describe each of the main ideas is what we call the supporting details. It's not that we only write the main idea and we leave it like that. No, we have to include the main idea, then the extra information about each, then the second main idea, the extra information, third main idea, extra information, fourth main idea, extra information. And then when you finish with that, we go to the closing paragraph. In the closing paragraph, we finish with a connector that has to do with conclusion, the closing sentence, and the supporting details. This is how you have to organize your essay, people. This is the format that you have to make your work. I hope that you try to apply all of these characteristics that I have mentioned in your writing, and in that way you can improve your work. So I'm not trying to, I concentrate more in the style that you are applying, less than in the structure that you are applying. Okay? So thank you very much. Have a good day. And remember, stay at home.